Rated M for mature.
So I'm here with an extremely special guest, someone who I'm a huge fan of, Terry McGovern, who plays Larry in the Walking Dead game. And Terry, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Nice to meet you, you son of a bitch. How are you?
I'm great. Wow.
Every time I do that voice, I think of George C. Scott. Do you know who he was?
I know the name.
Terrific actor. Terrific actor. Look him up in Doctor Strange. But he talk like that. That's kind of, I guess, where I got it for Larry.
Wow.
Not a nice man.
Jumping right off the right out of the gate there with Larry.
That's the way it's done.
So before we go into Larry, before we talk about your character in Walking Dead, I want to discuss some of the other stuff you've done. You've done Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales and Darkwing Duck.
Well, I've been alive a long time, AJ. So it's good that I've done something. I'm like a kid in his game room when I go home at night, because I go into my studio and I got microphones and dials and I've been, that's been my life, my entire life is audio, and I love designing audio. And so when I got a chance to get into cartoons, into animation, I jumped at it and I hoped I had the talent and got lucky. Got cast DIC, D-I-C, which was a strange French company.
I know DIC. I remember the logo that DIC, the doo-doo-doo-doo, had that weird, for every cartoon I'd watch as a kid. You were the voice of the Stormtrooper in the original Star Wars.
It happened like this, sweetheart. It's a great show business story. All right, do we have time? Do you want to go to a break?
All the time you need.
1975, I'm living in San Anselmo, not far from where I live now, because I hadn't gone to LA yet. And I came in, and it was going to be for George's new movie. So nutty George, he's making another little movie. Yeah, what a great kid. He never forgets us. So we went in, it was on Polk Street, and the only thing that, actors are always saying, well, tell me about the part. How old am I supposed to be? What am I wearing? Right. You want to know everything, right?
Yeah.
And so she said, I don't know, you're some kind of robot.
That's vague.
I said, a robot. So again, being much younger and having much more chutzpah than I should have, I went in and I dressed all in black, like in this mime outfit, and I was ready to get out of the box. And for giggles, because again, I love sound, I had this little tape recorder. For the time, it was very small. And I had recorded bleeps on it. I haven't told this story, I don't think, ever. And I go into the audition, Polk Street, go up the steps, see all the actors, hey, how you doing, Charlie? So I stuck this thing in my pants and walked in when it was time for me to go in, and it went off. And I did this little robot thing. And Lucas is sitting at the desk, and he goes like this. What is that? And now I have to stop, I have to break character and explain to him and reach into my pants. He goes, oh no, we don't need that. So I thought, well, that's another one. So we jumped in Johnny Weissmuller's motorcycle, had a sidecar, and the three of us went to the Buena Vista, and I don't remember the rest.
So what kind of audition? Was that for a robot or Stormtrooper? What the hell were you doing?
George is a genius. He's a great man, but he doesn't speak. He brought me into his house one night. I only lived 5 minutes away. Me, Morgan Upton, Scott Beach, Jerry Walters, I think that was the group of us, and said, we've made a new movie, and we need some post-production voices. Okay, we're sitting in his big palatial screening room, and we had a stack of paper, and there were lines all over them. And he says, basically, you're like stormtroopers, you're like police. And he was, because Johnny had played that, I don't know if you remember THX 1138, but he had a guy who was kind of a prototypical stormtrooper in there.
Right.
With the mask and the helmet. So we're ribbing him about it. What, are you going to show us any? What is this? And he says, well, I have a little film I could show you. Okay, George. And he shows on the screen the explosion of the Death Star. And the lights come up. And we looked at each other and went, that's it? He said, that's all I can show you right now.
Just do a voiceover of that.
So just shut up and do the, and everybody did the same exact lines. We just kept passing the script around. There were random lines. And for some reason or other, they took my track to be with Alec Guinness in the scene at the cantina. And I saw it 2 years later at a theater in Los Angeles. I man, I almost lost my mind. Because the guys I'm with have no, I said, I think I have a little voice thing in this. And we were all through it, all four of us, you know, all the good guys.
Right.
Who can ever forget? Blast Them, remember that?
Yeah. That's you?
Yeah.
I may need a new pair of pants after that. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
So you were involved.
I was in the original, I was in the film.
Right.
And the film was shot, I guess, 84, and I got a part to play one of the parents. I can't remember whose father I was, but a number of us 35, 40-year-old guys and women were hired to be the parents in the film. And then Zemeckis, who would redo things like that, he fired Eric Stoltz after 30 days of principal photography and brought Michael in.
Right. I'm very thankful for that, by the way.
Of course. But you're talented. You could have done Eric. So I did my 2 or 3 days on the show, and my agent goes, you're on the cutting room floor. Zemeckis went a whole different way. He had the actors themselves play the adults in prosthetics, but you still get paid. And they put me in the 25th anniversary, my little scene with Michael and Crispin Glover.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this. We got to see this. Cut to that. All right. So one more thing, one more fan thing I got to ask you.
Yeah.
Launchpad from DuckTales, Darkwing Duck. Huge fan. That was something I grew up with, and like Launchpad was, essentially the badass of those cartoons.
It destroyed a lot of your generation.
He did. Launchpad single-handedly.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was a very wholesome show. That was pure Disney. I had one line to read, and I had to drive halfway across the world to read this one line, and I was so frustrated, and I looked and I saw a big stack of scripts from Disney, and it was like, unclean, stay away. If you're not on this list, you can't look at these scripts. So I had this old VHF telephone. I went out to my car and I called my agent and I said, listen to me. I said, if you don't because I saw the Launchpad description and I knew I could nail it.
Right.
And I said, if you don't get me in for this, I'll hold my breath, or made some idle threat. And he said, all right, relax. And he called Bob Lloyd, who owned VoiceCaster, and said, let this guy get in. He'll get in and get out and won't give you any trouble. So they let me in and do it, and I got it. And this is the insanity of doing voice work, because they get a voice print in their head, the creator, and if they're good, they do, and they know exactly what it is they want, and they have it down to a gradation. So when you make the final cut, when you do get cast, you've gone through a very bizarre screening process in this guy's head, or in a committee's head, because they all kind of know what they want. Here he goes, cheap plug, brown nose. Telltale's got that. Telltale's got that with the professionalism of the writers, the designers. As an actor, I really appreciate the written material.
Larry's a great character. I mean, he's not...
Larry's very misunderstood.
Yeah, he's well loved. Everyone loves Larry.
Well, he's writing a book.
Larry's writing a book? A memoir from
My Life
from
as
the beyond.
Larry. From
My Life as Larry.
My Life as Larry. Only 14% of your people tried to kill me, AJ.
You know the stats?
14%.
Only 4. Yeah, I was to say, let's see, boy.
So why the hell did you kill me? Why'd you let me die?
I didn't kill you. I personally
You know who
didn't
I'm
kill
talking
you.
to. Mr. Head Game Designer, Mr. Lead. I can't come back. I'm dead. But it was kind of interesting. My character didn't die of the bite.
You died of salt.
I died of
a brick of salt.
A brick of salt.
How did you
No,
feel
I died.
watching...
I had a heart attack. Wasn't it? Well, that's one of the alternatives.
I don't know. That was my thing when I was playing through it. I was like, I could bring him back. I think I could revive him. I think he's still alive. So I was not willing to just, throw a brick at your head. But
you have a place in the will, AJ. Thank you for at least trying.
Got it. So how did you approach playing Larry? What was your mindset behind Larry?
But it was based just on what the creators said in the script. They give us he's middle-aged, he's insane, he's whatever.
He's cranky.
They didn't mention how big my nose was going to be. That is
Would that have changed?
What a hooter! You see that nose on Larry? That's some kind of hooter. A big jaw. But he was just a nasty guy. And also, actors love to swear, because we don't really get a chance in television, although that's changing with cable.
Right.
But to be able to say, "You asshole! Oh, you sons of bitches!" It was just great. First of all, it sounded like my family, And it was, I don't know, there's something endearing about it. You know, as I said, only 14% of the people try to kill him.
Yeah, which is, it's a weird thing when when he has his heart attack and he's laying on the ground, you're like, I don't really want to do it. Like, I wanted him to die the entire time, and then we got to that moment, I was like, I think I could save him.
Well, I hope this has taught you young people something about compassion. The thing I love about this game is it shows humans how really vile and antisocial we can be.
Yeah.
You know, that we exclude each other and we only look out for ourselves and for our own. And Larry, underneath it all, cared about his daughter.
Yeah, that's the interesting
thing
about
name?
Larry.
Lily.
What was her name? Hey,
What is my kid's name? Lily, I think. Yeah.
And I don't give a shit about what happens to you. But if anything happens to my daughter or that little girl you've got with you, you watch your ass.
So he had some soul, he had some compassion, but he was not a pleasant man.
No, not a pleasant man.
Please pick up my book.
That's all right. Robert Kirkman is an alias.
Oh, this isn't my book.
What is this, Walking Dead?
I did play the game.
You know you were in a game, right?
No, but I never played a game. And I got to sit with all the voice actors at Dennis's house for the party.
Right.
And we all got to kind of kill our characters, which was, it was fabulous. And we all had the controller, and it turned out that only 2 of all the voice actors there had ever played a game before. They were as lost as I was.
Wow, really?
But now I know why you guys are hooked on it. It's fun.
Yeah,
really
especially
is.
killing Larry. I didn't do it.
There's only 14%. We'll find them.
Yeah, we'll find that 14%.
You're a very talented man.
So are you. You're much more talented. Thank you so much for
We're all on
talking to
our
me
own
today.
curve. Wherever we are, that's where we are.
That's right. That's
Keep going, kiddo.
You too.